I recently received a message from a parent that I think many of you will relate to. This mom shared that her child easily gets influenced by cousins who say stuff like, "Your mom is a bad mom, she has so many rules, our mom is better, we can eat sweets whenever we want, we can watch TV all day." After hearing this, her child cried, refused to listen, and called her a bad mom. This is actually a very valuable life skill. Think about it. We all follow different rules depending upon where we are. At school, at work, at library, we have different expectations, right? From how we are going to act and behave. So you can just say, just like there are some special rules at school that are different from home, every family has their own special rules too. Follow your child, trust their mind. Hi, I am Ankita, blending Montessori, neuroscience, music, and positive parenting to help you follow your amazing child from day one to forever. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about something that really pulls at our heartstrings as parents. What to do when family members undermine your boundaries and you become a villain in front of your child and your child is now calling you bad mom. I recently received a message from a parent that I think many of you will relate to. This mom shared that her child easily gets influenced by cousins who say stuff like, "Your mom is a bad mom, she has so many rules, our mom is better, we can eat sweets whenever we want, we can watch TV all day." After hearing this, her child cried, refused to listen, and called her a bad mom. She tried hugging him, explaining that she only wants what's best for him, but he wasn't satisfied with her answer. I know that feeling. It's a punch to the gut because you're doing your best to raise a healthy, well-adjusted child and suddenly you've become the villain in their story because somebody else is letting their children have endless treats and endless screen time. Let me tell you something important. Setting boundaries does not make you a bad parent. It makes you a responsible one. Our job isn't to be our child's best friend right now. Our job is to raise them into healthy adults who can make good decisions when you're not around. When relatives undermine our boundary, they are usually not trying to hurt us. They might be trying to be the fun aunt or uncle, or maybe they just have different parenting styles, which is okay. But regardless of their intentions, it can seriously impact our relationship with our children. So let's talk about practical ways how we can handle the situation. I'm going to share not 1, 10 strategies that can help. Number 1, have a private, calm conversation with the family members involved. This needs to happen away from the children. Don't approach it as an accusation, but like a way to solve problem together. So if you have reasonable relatives, then definitely have this conversation. Tell them, "I noticed the children were comparing our different house rules and it's creating some challenges for me at home. Could we talk about how to handle these differences because our parenting styles are different and we really don't want to undermine each other, So you might suggest phrases they could use instead. They could just say different families have different rules and that's okay. Or at your house, you follow your mom's rules. At our house, we have our own rules. That could work. Number 2, teach your children about different rules at different places. This is actually a very valuable life skill. Think about it. We all follow different rules depending upon where we are. At school, at work, at library, we have different expectations, right? From how we are going to act and behave. So you can just say, just like there are some special rules at school that are different from home, every family has their own special rules too. Now, these rules aren't about being mean. They are about keeping you safe and healthy. Strategy 3, validate feelings without changing your boundaries. When your child says, "You're a bad mom," or "I wish I lived with auntie, wo meri mama honi chahiye," tell them, "I hear that you're feeling frustrated with our house rules. It probably seems unfair right now. It's okay to feel upset about this." This validation helps them feel heard without suggesting that the rule is going to change. The rule is not going to change, parents, okay? You're going to stick to your boundaries, but you're still validating their emotions that they're feeling about all your rules. Okay. Strategy 4, explain the why in simple ways to your children. Children are more likely to accept limits when they understand the reasoning. For example, I limit screen time because I want to make sure your amazing brain has time to be creative and your strong body has time to play and grow. Oh, we eat sweets sometime, not all the time, because sugar can make it very hard for your brain to function at its best and for your body to feel its best. Strategy number 5, you can create special freedom zones within your boundaries. If you are limiting screen time and that's important to you, maybe your child could choose when to do that time. If there's limited screen time, your child chooses when the child is going to watch. If nutritious food is a priority, perhaps they could help plan the menu. They could choose between several options. It doesn't have to be your way or the highway. Try to give them some of the control back. And strategy 6, remember that bad mom comments aren't actually about your parenting. When your child says you're a bad mom, what they're trying to say is, I am frustrated by your limits and rules. Thoda zyada ho gaya, that's it. It's their limited way of expressing disappointment. At that point, all you can do is take a deep breath. Try to hear the feeling behind the words rather than taking it personally. And strategy number 7, use stories and books to reinforce the concept of loving boundaries. Reading these together can really help children understand that rules come from love. Books like The Invisible String show the connection between parent and child even when there are disagreements. And number 8, model healthy boundary setting in your own life. Children learn not by what we say, by what we do. So when appropriate, tell your own choices. I'm going to switch off my phone right now so we can enjoy our dinner time. I would love another piece of the cake, but I know my body doesn't feel good with so much sugar. Show them thoda sa self-control. That's going to be really helpful. And now let's go to strategy number 9. Create a united front with your co-parent or other caregivers whenever possible. When the adults in a child's life are consistently enforcing similar boundaries, children are less likely to view one parent as a bad parent. Dono villain ban jao. Just kidding. And finally, strategy number 10. Give yourself grace. You will not handle every situation perfectly, and that's okay. We are humans. You're a human. Your child won't remember the occasional misstep. They'll remember the consistent message that you cared enough to set loving limits. Now it's time to take a moment to recognize the difference between healthy boundaries and overly rigid control. Healthy boundaries are consistent, when flexible, when appropriate. They are based on your family values than any random rule set by a random person. They are delivered with empathy and love rather than harshness and control. If you find yourself setting too many rigid rules or struggling to allow any flexibility, it might be worth reflecting why. Sometimes our own childhood experiences can influence our parenting style. अगर आपके घर में बहुत सारे rules थे growing up and you feel like you were completely in control, it is very natural that you might be exercising the same control with your child, but at some point it's important to realize that the cycle has to break. It's very toxic otherwise. I want to share something encouraging before we wrap up. Research consistently shows that children raised with clear, consistent boundaries actually report higher levels of happiness and security than those raised without them. While your child might momentarily prefer the household with unlimited treats and screen time, the structure and predictability you provide creates a sense of safety that benefits your children in the long run. Think about it this way. Boundaries are the banks of a river. Without them, the water just spreads out into a shapeless puddle. But with strong banks, the river can flow with purpose and direction. Your boundaries are helping your child's life flow in a healthy direction. So the next